time for Ohio State basketball. The Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is Fan Warmup.
Game number 2 of the Buckeye basketball season on tap this evening. We're going to go over to the Shot coming up here at 5:45. Ohio State will host the Mastodons of Purdue Fort Wayne. I am Brandon Beam. We'll check in with Ron Stokes coming up here courtside in just a few minutes' time. Monday evening, Ohio State hosted IU Indy. The final score in that game was 118-102. They were 4 points short of a program record. 4 scores. It was the most points that Ohio State scored in a season opener of all time, but I know everybody was a little bit angsty about the 102 points that was given up by Ohio State for IU Indy. That's all right. They're going to score a lot of points. It was a very unique style of play that you got to see on Monday from IU Indy and the Jaguars. But fear not, I think this team will get better, right? It's game number 1. No worries. They looked pretty good against OU, and OU had a big win against Illinois State last night. So if you're keeping track at home, Buckeyes 1-0. IU Indy also lost a close game, I believe, to Illinois State last night. So should be a fun one over at the Shot tonight. Again, different brand of basketball with Purdue Fort Wayne in town. But I will tell you this much. I think Jake Diebler was pretty pumped about the offense and the way that this game was run tempo-wise. It was a ton of free throws for Ohio State, 53 of them. 42 were made. It was 79.2% from the line if you're keeping count there at home. But it did slow the game down a little bit from that perspective. There kind of was no flow going. But when there was flow in the game, Ohio State did run up-tempo offense. And here was Jake Diebler after the game on Monday talking about the tempo which this offense ran.
The 3 games, we'll call them games, that we've had, Tennessee scrimmage, Ohio exhibition, and this, we've played at a pace that I like. This was unique. This was faster than those other 2, but those other 2 were high possession games. So it's who we are. It's who we are. Now we know we're going to go against some opponents that are going to, send most of their guys back. They're going to make it work in the half court. I think we're prepared to do that. Hopefully you're seeing we're a team that's a lot more concept-based, less set-driven, and guys are read and reacting off of each other. They're playing together. The ball is kind of telling us what to do, and it's a fun way to play, and it's a fun way to coach. And we can do it because we got a great group of guys who are bought in, who have high basketball IQ. There's a ton of skill out there. It's been fun so far, but, make no mistake, we're going to go up against opponents who are going to do everything they can to slow us down, and we got to be prepared for that, certainly. But this wasn't one of those opponents. This was one of the fastest ones.
Might be a little slower tempo tonight with the Mastodons coming into town. 90-71 was their first game they lost against Grand Canyon. Let's head over to the Shot and check in with our guy Ron Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
Ron, I believe when we talked on Monday, you said that this IU Indy team likes to press a lot, they like to shoot a lot, and they like to foul a lot. I believe all 3 of your assessments, my friend, were correct in this game. Is this not a throwaway game for Ohio State, but is this a totally different game tonight and for the rest of the season compared to what we saw on Monday? Happy Friday, Ron.
Hey, happy Friday to you, Brandon. I think some aspects of what we saw in the last ball game you'll see in other games. But clearly what you saw in the first game against IU Indianapolis, that's definitely different. You have a coach that wants to score 100 points a game. That's his style. He lives with the 3, he lives with that pace, and he'll die with it in terms of losing ball games. But I thought Ohio State offensively matched what IU Indianapolis did, but as Jake Diebler talked about post-game, he felt that defensively they could have been better. But, hey, it's the first game of the season officially. Ohio State will continue to get better. They know where their weaknesses are. Clearly their offensive versatility is their strength right now. But if they want to be a great team and make an the NCAA at the end of the year, they definitely got to improve on some areas on the defensive side.
Yeah, and it's not their goal, right, just to make the NCAA tournament. Jake Diebler has said that throughout the entirety of the offseason. Our goal is not to make the NCAA tournament. The standard in this program is to go out and win it. Step 2 begins tonight. We got Purdue Fort Wayne in town. Ron, how impressed were you? I know that coming off of last season, John Mobley Jr. was maybe thrust into a situation that we didn't expect maybe out of him. 16 points for him, but I think the bigger story out of John Mobley Jr. was the way that he was facilitating the basketball. 8 assists from Monday. And if you can get that kind of help from a guy who you're going to rely on for scoring a lot this season, I feel like you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I've always loved John Mobley's game. He's not just a scorer. He's not just a three-point shooter. He enjoys passing the basketball, and he's pretty good at it. He had some really good games last year that impacted or equated to wins. And he's a young player still in the beginning of his sophomore season as a collegiate basketball player. He'll continue to get better in different areas of the game, especially on the defensive end. But he's very capable of putting up a double-digit assist game, especially with that type of tempo. And but he'll shoot it too. Yeah. But he enjoys playing, and he's a gritty guy. He takes pride in wanting to be a good and solid basketball player. He has aspirations of continue to play in basketball once he's done here at Ohio State. So with that said, in your mindset, he understands that every time he steps on the court, it's an opportunity for him to get better as a complete basketball player, not just a scorer.
Ron, what are you most looking at tonight for Ohio State as they get into their second game tonight against Purdue Fort Wayne? What's the most intriguing part of this matchup to you?
Well, the thing is that a lot of times this early in the year, Brandon, especially when you're playing against an opponent that, you look at the fact that you scheduled this type of team, you better win at home, right? Oh, yeah. So it's about improving in every aspect of your game. That's what is important for Coach Stiebler, trying to understand the rotations, understand who plays well with each other, and trying to get the right matchups. Those things are so important. Obviously, you want to win the game. There's no doubt about that. But there's certain things that the coach wants to see. It's a long season. You don't want to peak right now, obviously, but you want to make sure that you're making strides at getting better every single time you step out here and play.
Hey, Ron, before we get you out of here, what about the Jerry Lucas statue that is going up next Friday? I believe it's at 4 o'clock next Friday. I know there's number 11 hangs in the Value City Arena rafters, got a couple other players, but that's got to be pretty cool. And I know that he's dotting the I next Saturday against UCLA for the football side as well.
Very, very deserving of it. I've had the very great fortune of meeting him and getting to know him well, played golf with him one time. And he's a great guy. His record speaks for itself. Part of the only NCAA championship team. You look at his numbers; they're astounding as a player. I'm so thrilled that this is going to happen. I will be there to share in that incredible day, and looking forward to seeing a smile on his face because he's very deserving.
Ron, always appreciate the time. Have a fantastic call with my guy Neil Sika. Ask him about the crew during some break time because I know he'll be excited about tomorrow's game, all right?
I will do that.
See you, Ronnie. Have a great call.
All right, go Bucks.
Yeah, there he goes. Ron Stokes with us here every pregame show. Great stuff out of him as always. Again, Purdue, Fort Wayne, and the Buckeyes coming up here at 5:45, 6:30 tip-off in this one. Here's Jake Diebler from the game on Monday as well, talking about the unique experience. And again, it only wasn't the run and gun for this IU Indy team that was unique. It was the press because they pressed all 40 minutes.
It's critical. This was, again, a great experience, for us because you have to execute. They force you to execute and press over and over. And it's there's a chaos to it where, players got to play too. So, but we did a really good job of working together aside from a couple possessions where maybe we left a guy hanging in a trap. We were a little too deep. But, yeah, we know we're going to be in situations where we got to break presses and we got to, beat defenses down the floor and then make a poised decision. So we got a lot of experience in that regard. Tonight.
There's a lot of things to clean up, I think, on the defensive side and maybe the turnover side. But all in all, I think it was a pretty good game for Ohio State in their first venture of the season against IU Indy. The split between IU PUI, the second half of the matchup against Purdue Fort Wayne, is coming at you next. Everybody have an awesome evening. We will be back for the postgame show. Neil Sika, Ron Stokes, they will take you through the evening. Everybody enjoy your lovely Friday right here on The Fan.
Listening to Fan Warmup. Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.